Welcome to the We Are VIP podcast. Each week, your host, Casey Hasten, Director of Recruiting at VIP, will bring you valuable insights from thought leaders, introduce you to incredible companies, and bring you tips for landing your dream job from our team of executive recruiters at VIP. And now, Casey Hasten.
Welcome to the We Are VIP podcast, a podcast devoted to adding value to your career or candidate search, brought to you by VIP. I'm your host, Casey Hasten. I'm an executive recruiter, director of recruiting with VIP, and your all-around hiring guru. And I have a little exciting twist on today's podcast because we're actually going to be spotlighting one of our favorite companies to hire for today. So for today's show, I'd like to welcome Ben Cook, CEO of Colmore. Colmore delivers cutting-edge technology and services to private market investors, allowing for real-time portfolio monitoring, fee validation, and accounting. Colmore's industry-defining solutions are made for the fintech era, designed to give investors more control, clarity, and confidence. And I am so excited to welcome you to the show today, Ben.
Thank you very much for having me. It's cool to be here.
It is cool to be here.
It's cool to be here.
This is a great studio and we have so much fun and I'm so thankful. One of the things that I think is so important is talking about connections and how you meet people and how that next person you meet may not be the one you're supposed to meet, but they may know the person you're supposed to meet. I'm a huge connector of people. And so I've been working with your company since 2018, early 2018. And I have been working with your VP of Fund Accounting, Veronica Harris.
Yes.
And absolutely adore her. Shout out to you, Veronica, because she's actually the one that I went to with this idea and spread the word with Colmore to make it happen.
Brilliant.
She is brilliant.
She's great. Veronica's great. She was one of our first employees here in Dallas, and she's fantastic.
I love that she... And I can hear this when I talk to her, that she mentors her team and she, really wants to develop them so that they can have that super successful career like she has.
She's been great. I agree with everything you're saying.
Well, I am so excited to talk about Colmore today. We're going to spotlight the company and really share why this great talent that's out there would want to work with you. Okay?
Brilliant.
So you've been with Colmore from the year the company started in 2017. So tell me a little bit about Colmore, the support services, how it came to be, everything. Give me the story.
The story. So we started out mostly in the UK. We came to life in 2017, and we spun out of another big investment manager. And we had this idea that investors in private markets needed a lot more help. Mm-hmm. Nobody was really giving them that support. Everybody was focused on the investment managers. Nobody was focused on the investors, the people that had the money. And they were getting kind of bits of paper for information. It wasn't really clear to them. And they were writing $100 million investments. And they were getting pieces of paper as kind of feedback from their investment managers. We wanted to change all that. And we kind of thought, you know what, we should start with a group of people that have done this before. So we spun the group out. 45 people, and now 4 years later, here we are, 175 people operating out of Dallas and the UK, and doing great things.
That is amazing. I mean, and y'all have grown. Like, again, I just want to emphasize, 2017.
Yeah, kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's what. I used to be an accountant, but don't hold that against me.
So 4 years, right? It's been insane, absolutely insane.
And you're still continuing to grow. I mean, I know that on my desk, I almost always have at least one rec for Colmore, and it's due to growth.
It's due to growth. Like it's due to growth. So we're now building out our leadership positions here in Dallas. We're widening our teams, and this idea is like we follow the sun, right? We want to make sure that our customers and our clients get help in the UK, and then as the clock turns, we get help here as well out of Dallas. So it works really, really well.
So I heard a story, and I'm not sure. I want to make sure that I'm telling the right story because I love to we call it selling. We sell the client to the candidate, right? Yep. And we want to convince them that they want to go interview with you and have that conversation. Yep. And I always talk about the fact that you do have that support from that original company, yep. which is why, because a lot of people shy away from startups.
Sure.
And so we I always shared that even though Colmore itself is a startup, you have those strong ties to that original company that has, I guess, pretty much been funding you guys to get this off the ground, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, for the first year, they were our only client, but they paid all the bills and all of our staff were covered, and we were never really a startup in the sense that we were worried about where the next, salary run was going to come from. And now we're at 30 clients. So whilst that initial client is still incredibly important to us, and we still do a lot of work for them, we have 29 other clients as well. So there are some people who work now for Colmore that don't even touch that first client, right? There's so much more things going on. It's a pretty good success story.
And I'm so glad that I asked that question, because I didn't know that piece, that the spinoff company was your original first client.
Yeah.
And that you started with one, and now here you are
30.
with 30.
Yeah, it's nuts.
That is incredible. So I know that Colmore's approach to open private equity sets it apart as the cutting edge provider. What does that mean? What is open private equity?
Sure. So on the back of my business card, I think it's quite funny. I wish I had less access to my portfolio data, said no investor ever, right? And people want more information. And if you're invested in private markets, which is our customers, they're also invested in public markets. So they're used to getting public information, lots of data, really fast, loads of information. The private side wasn't able to provide that. We've turned that on its head, and now you go on your phone, you look on the Colmore kind of portal, Helios, and you see all the information you need to see on your private markets investments. We're making it more accessible. We're making it more open. So that's where open private equity comes from.
So who would be a client of Colmore? And I don't want names, but I mean, like, what size? Could an individual be a client?
Yeah, so they could, but it's unlikely.
Okay.
It's mostly large institutional investors. So we act for 3 of the 10 largest investors in the world now, 4 of the top 20 largest investors in the world. Some of the names that anybody in institutional investment would know and love in private markets. If you'd have said to me when we started the company, we'd have those kind of names as clients within 4 years, I said, get out of town. You're dreaming, and yet here we are. So the story resonates because we were an investor. Our team worked as an investor. We know what investors need, and now we've built that. We kind of built the products that we couldn't find ourselves when we were looking, right, as an investor. So it's a really nice story, and it really resonates with those large institutions.
You know what? You just said something. Okay, so as a recruiter, like I mentioned earlier, I was in accounting before, so I was actually going to recruiters to try to find an accounting job. Yep. And I joke all the time and say, I think I found every bad recruiter in the DFW area before I found a good one, right?
Right.
And so, but that's what I always tell my candidates. I want to be the recruiter for you that I wanted for me.
Right.
And I think that is such a great philosophy that Colmore has.
We can sit in a room with a potential client, and we're kind of answering each other, finishing each other's sentences, because we know the issues that they face. We're not trying to sell them something. We're trying to say, we saw that problem. This is how 3 different ways we dealt with it, and they feel comfortable, and it makes it easier. One of our big selling points for our clients earlier on was all of our staff came from private market investors. They knew exactly what you needed. The problem is, as we've grown so much, we can't keep that 100% ratio, and it's kind of going down a little bit. But that's okay, because we're so much bigger now, and we need different types of skills. So one of the great things for being in Dallas is you've got great access to lots of great universities, lots of other, big companies, for people who don't want to be part of the big machine, want to be in a more entrepreneurial kind of startup feel, but not really startup financial kind of business. That's why people like to come to Colmore.
Well, and it is very, flexible, and I think that you guys are very, forward thinking when it comes to stuff like that. So that leads me to my next question.
Okay.
What makes Colmore a great place to work?
Well, me, obviously. What makes Colmore a great place to work? The people, the team. We are nothing without our people, and the kind of pandemic has really proven that.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's at home. It's difficult. You've either got kids and that's hard, or you've not got kids and you're on your own. And you kind of want to be with people. Everybody's facing these real human issues, and yet they're all kind of doing their jobs. Our customers, our clients, not felt any difference. in the way we've provided service to them. So the first thing, if you're going to join Colmore, you've got to be the right kind of person.
Oh, yes.
Right? We want the right kind of people to join our business who can be friendly, who know their stuff. In English, you might say they know their onions, and they can do the work that we need doing, but they do it in the right way.
Yes.
Like, I'm not interested in somebody who wants to be, the big person who's like number one. Be part of the team.
Yep.
Equally, I'm not interested in somebody who hides because they think we're bigger than we are. In Colmore, you can't hide because we're not that big. So everybody has to contribute. Everybody has to play a role, but it's about the people. So in the pandemic, we tried to be incredibly flexible with people. Look, you got to look after your kids first. You got to get your washing machine fixed, whatever it is. Don't worry about that. Be flexible. Talk to us, and we'll be flexible with you too. So people is the heart of what we do at Colmore. And the second thing is, it's about being kind, right? It's very twee, but it's really true, right? When you set up a business, when you become a CEO, nobody teaches you how to do it. You can read loads of books, but fundamentally, you've got to be authentic and be yourself, right?
Absolutely.
And what we've tried to do with Colmore is just take that real life and bring it to work. Make it easy for people to take time out to do the things that are really, really important to them. Be flexible. Be around for core hours, but if you need to take some time off in the morning and make that up later, that's fine. We tried to give people a couple of extra days off at the end of the year just because it was such a hard year. Just to say, look, take Christmas Eve, take the 4th of January, have 2 long weekends in the year. You don't have to worry about it as holiday days. Just recharge, try and refresh a bit and turn your computers off. We're trying to start this no meeting days idea just to give people space. It's so important that people get some space.
Absolutely. Can I share with you something that I learned that y'all have done recently that I thought was so great, and I use it as a selling point for my candidates because I want to tell them, because I believe you guys are very employee-centric.
Yep.
Right? You just said it, you care about your employees, you give them extra days off. Not to mention the generous PTO that you get walking in the door and the paid holidays, and because you do know those are exceptional, right?
Don't tell the staff in the UK. But no, you're right. We try to look after our people.
Yeah.
It's really important.
But that's not even the best thing that I love about y'all. What I love is you are always looking out to develop your people and to give them resources that cost the company money. And I'm talking about Addie.
Yeah.
So bringing in an executive coach to the Olympic staff.
Yeah.
At that.
Yeah.
To give them those leadership skills and to help them develop and learn and work together better and to be more productive. That's amazing.
If people are going to stay with our company, they're going to work real hard. I want to give them something back. They need leadership skills, management skills, transferable skills that they can take into their next job, because no one stays forever. I'd like them to, sure, but they're not gonna. So I want to make sure people learn and develop with Colmore. I want to make sure that you come into our business and we're going to develop a new product kind of over here. You can go run that for us, right? We promote from within.
Yes.
International Women's Day, we ran a really interesting conversation with some of our female senior leaders. And there was some really cool stuff coming out of that. I was nervous going into that call, right? I'm a guy. I was nervous going into that, but it was incredible. And the ladies were talking about how, kind of in financial services, there's about 20% of women, in management positions. In Colmore, it's 45%. 60% of our senior vice presidents are female. All of our VPs and above get access to AD, this ex-military Olympic coach. He is a fantastic people person. He's incredible at leadership, and he's helping people communicate. Mm-hmm. We don't need people to learn about being accountants anymore. They know that.
Right.
We need them to be better leaders.
Yes.
And learn those soft skills about listening and how to be clear in objective setting and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we invest in our people a lot.
I love that. And knowing that he is a coach to the Olympic staff and
yeah, he's cool.
Participation. But he's also
cool.
probably not cheap.
Well, no, he's not. But that's not the point. The point is he's really good.
He is very good.
And you want to give your people the best. You want your people to be the best. You got to give them the best.
That's my point. I think that's amazing that you do that. So if you had to choose one area of your company's culture that you're most proud of, what do you think that would be?
Collaboration. Mm-hmm. So for me, the way the teams work together and the way they've held each other's hands through the pandemic, whether it's through collaboration on teams or whatever, kind of, hey, look, can you take this piece of work? I need to go do some stuff. Whether it's on the social side through Facebook, where the guys are all kind of connecting on Facebook and talking to each other outside of work. Collaboration, communication. I'm really proud of the way the teams come together. We've done every year we do a survey of our staff. I want to know how they're feeling. Right. And as we've got bigger, and as I've been kind of stuck here in the US for a while, I've not been able to get in front of people and see the whites of their eyes so much. So we do the survey year on year, and we wanted to kind of track and measure how people feel about being at Colmore. And we got some really great scores about how we've handled the pandemic, how we've made it easy for people to work together. And I feel really good about that, because it's not easy. It's not easy to do. You make difficult decisions. Do I hire 2 more people, or do we put more training in place? Actually, I think the guys might prefer if we put 2 more people in. There's a lot of work going on. But you know what? As a business, it's better that people know how to work together. So we're going to put some more training in, and we'll do that first, and then we'll put the people in later. So it's kind of making those active decisions to help people be better at collaboration.
Yeah, and I think that you guys have probably, I'm not going to say of all my clients, but of many of my clients, really got the hang of the virtual hiring quickly. And because I know I've placed probably 3 or 4 people since we've been virtual, and they've virtual interviews, virtual onboarding, and right. Nobody's complained.
It's that's kind of great to hear. We try very hard.
Yeah.
I'm very conscious that if you're at home, how do you feel part of the team? How do you feel part of that culture that you don't get a better offer and you close your laptop on a Friday for Colmore and open it up for another company on the Monday and nothing else has changed?
Right.
I need people to feel part of our team. So we have to work hard to make them do that. So it's kind of great to hear that the virtual hiring and the virtual onboarding is working well. That's the start of getting people into our culture.
Well, whatever y'all are doing on the back end after, I go, here you go, it's working because,
I'll tell our HR team that. They'll be very pleased to hear that.
Yes. Well, Catherine Kilbane is also someone that I've worked with quite closely, and she's been pretty amazing. I was really glad when she was back in the office. So
yeah, me too.
Like I said, we've worked with Colmore since 2018, and we've had the privilege of placing 9 people with you. And I'm thinking of one individual in particular that experienced that fast track on the promotion to, I think he did get to a VP.
I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know that I should mention any names, but and I've worked closely with Veronica, Catherine Kilbane, who I just mentioned, and Richard Pope in the UK. What has the process been like from your perspective?
Well, I'm a little removed from it day to day. What I see is good people joining our firm, and then I see them being happy that they joined our firm. So the way the process works is there's a vacancy requested. We look at the numbers. Can we afford it? We're still a youngish company. Yes, we can. Great. Let's get on and hire them. The team then take over, and we enable the teams to do that, right? It's important that the Veronica and other managers in our business are able to hire the people they think are the right fit for their teams. Early on in Colmore, I would be signing off every hire, but I didn't know the people. So now it's about me signing off the vacancy. So from my perspective, the teams run that process really well. They deal with people like you, and Veronica's given some, stellar feedback on what it's like to work with you guys at VIP. So thank you for that, because it's not always like that when you're dealing with recruiters. And the candidates then come in, they get through the process, they get into our business, and they start adding value. And if they're good, we promote them. And we promote them fast, because
you do promote them fast.
We have all of these new ideas, and we don't have people to fill them, right? And we want to have the people that are in our business that have taken a chance on us, because it's as much that as it is the other way around, right? These candidates are taking a chance on joining us.
Yeah.
Which I'm really grateful for that. I kind of feel really proud they want to do that. So I want to pay them back. So let's give them opportunity. Let's create new product lines. Let's create new teams. And this kind of triangle effect is where we try to bring people in on the bottom, but the people that are in, that we try to promote them. So we create that triangle from internal people getting promoted up and up and up. So I think we promoted 9 VPs last year, which is great.
That is crazy.
Yeah, it's good.
That's a lot.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
And that was, another selling point that I give to, candidates, especially the ones that I'm bringing in at the more entry level, is that I'm like, look, You get in there, you work hard, you prove that you're going to work hard for Colmore, you will advance quickly, faster here than you would anywhere else. And so I think that's another great selling point with Colmore. So what are some of the greatest challenges you've seen in attracting and retaining top talent?
It's easier with good partners, but people don't know who Colmore is.
Yeah.
You know who JP Morgan is. You know who IBM are, right? I mean, these are big companies. We're not a big company. So we have to work a little harder to convince people about us. Mm-hmm. That's easier. Now we're at 30 clients and 170 people. We're not as small a business anymore. Right. But the first people that joined, like Veronica, there were 3 or 4 guys in our Dallas team.
There were 6 people in your Dallas team when I started working with you guys.
Right, and there's 40 now, right? Yeah. So it's a little easier now. But really, it's about name awareness and brand awareness of Colmore to get them interested, to the hook to come and see us. When they come and see us, I think they buy the story.
Absolutely.
And I think we have a pretty good track record of once we get to our preferred candidate in a process, we kind of get them.
Yep.
They're not often going somewhere else. And we try to balance, salary and benefits with development opportunity. We pay as much as we can, but we try to give more back in terms of PTO, in terms of benefits, medical, in terms of opportunity to develop and become a VP. So once we get them in the door and we get our hooks into them, we generally do all right.
Well, I want you to know that my friends call me the town crier, because once I believe in something, whether it's a book or a person or a company, I'm like, it's all I talk about, And so really Colmore for me is one of those companies that you just love to recruit for, because there's so many good selling points. And I'm really hoping that, we're going to share pieces of this with our community. And of course, and the whole thing will be on the podcast, on all the platforms. But I really hope you guys will use this too, because I want everybody to hear how great Colmore is and why they should want to work there. Because I think especially for those young kids coming out, there is no better place to start your career.
I hope so. When you get to kind of run a company, it's a great honor, and you take the best bits of learnings from all the jobs I've had, and you learn the most from the things you've done wrong or the things you've seen that are wrong.
Exactly.
Right? So you kind of correct some of those wrongs. It's a bit like parenting. So you kind of correct some of those things, and that helps us be a good employer, because actually I hated it when I joined that company those years ago. It was an awful onboarding experience. Let's make it better. Let's make sure that the day people arrive, the computer's ready.
Duh.
Yeah, and it's not easy, because you got to get it and do all the work to make it work properly, and then you have to have your IT company engaged. But you need to do that to make sure that when somebody joins, you're ready, they're ready, they feel part of the team straight away. Make sure that onboarding process works nicely. Make sure that you're honest and straightforward and you communicate well through their time with us. Make sure you set those objectives for people. Make sure that people feel like they know what's expected of them, and if they deliver, what they're going to get back, and feel invested in. That's really important to us.
Well, and VIP loves to partner with you guys. We offer so many different services. I've, shared some of those with Veronica, but we really like to think of ourselves as a holistic company.
Yep.
Because, we offer the direct hire, but we also offer contract to hire. You've utilized us for some of that. We also have our solutions team that will come in and, if you've got a big project or a system implementation, these are where these guys shine. They are masters at chaos.
Yeah.
So they're wonderful. And then, of course, we have most recently, and I don't know if I shared this with you or not, we've launched our executive coaching vertical. So now you've got a one-stop shop for everything that you need.
Which is great. You've got some brilliant case studies on your website, which really kind of help bring to life the kind of things that VIP do. Mm-hmm. And I was really glad to be invited on here, because whilst yes, it's great, we can tell the story of Colmore. You guys have been amazing to us, and so I want to say thanks as well.
Oh, well, thank you. So Colmore's done a lot of great things so far. What's next?
So somebody said to me once, when you can do anything. When you can do everything, how do you do anything? How do you choose what to do? So we've had to be really tight and clear on what we want to be when we grow up. what we're aiming at. So we've got several new product ideas coming out in this year, which are going to be driven by our existing teams. Our whole story is, once we've got the data and the information, we want to be able to reuse that for customers in different ways. And we've got lots of ideas about how we're going to build that out. We've just put in a whole new machine learning platform to help all of our staff. So we've got to make sure that's embedded, and then we're going to kind of use that as well for some more product ideas. We want to expand geographically. We've got some thoughts about moving across to Asia and doing some work in Asia. We've got lots of ideas. There aren't enough hours in the day.
But you're going to stay here primarily.
Hey,
right?
I live here. We are totally staying in Dallas.
Okay. I would cry if you guys left.
No. We're not leaving anywhere. And that's quite funny. Like, we're not leaving Dallas, right? I mean, we are in Dallas. We're here. I'm here with my family. We moved here 2 years ago. We're completely committed to Dallas.
Your LinkedIn still says you're in the UK.
Okay. No, I didn't know that.
That's recruiters' first go-to is LinkedIn.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm here. I'm definitely not in the UK.
Definitely not in the UK.
I think my kids and my mum would be happier if I was in the UK. But no, I'm definitely here in Dallas.
Yeah, with all the highway, I don't know if anybody can see it, but the highway behind us, right?
Yeah, we're definitely here.
So, this has been a fantastic conversation, and I knew it would be when we spoke the other day. And you had me rolling with all your little stories when we were doing one of our other clients' terms, Snowvid.
Snowvid.
Isn't that great?
Yeah,
Where
that was
Texas
an experience.
was broke.
Come to Texas, it breaks when the white stuff comes down.
Right? This was the real breaking, and then 2 weeks later, it's like 70.
We went from frostbite to sunburn in 5 days. It was insane.
I love that. Is there anything else you want to add about Colmore that for the people that might see this?
If you're looking for a fast-moving company that's got some great ideas and is really human, come and talk to us.
That's absolutely. And you're not going to believe this. I told you this was going to go fast, right?
Right.
We are almost out of time.
It's crazy.
You want to come do this with me every week? You can be my co-host.
Sure, why not? We can try that.
See how that works? Well, we do have our standard VIP questions that we ask at the end. Are you ready?
Sure.
All your company is like holding bated breath to hear how you answer these questions, right? They're going to learn so much about you. So if you were chosen to be one of the first colonists on Mars,
yes,
what 3 things or people would you take with you?
Okay. So that's not an easy question. I've been thinking about this one. That's a not easy question. So first, I'd take Matt Damon, because I really like the movie The Martian.
Oh, that was a great movie.
And he grew potatoes, and I like potatoes. So Matt Damon's coming. He can be my botanist and chemist. And I bet he's got some interesting stories as well. That'd be pretty cool. Pretty cool to do. Then I want people to kind of help. So I'd bring Jacinda Ardern, sorry. She is the Prime Minister of New Zealand. Okay. She is a 40-year-old woman who has broken all the barriers. She's got a young child, and she's run a country through the pandemic. She's made tough decisions, and she's been awesome. So watching her from afar has been incredible, and I think she'd be an amazing addition. And the third one, honestly, would be my wife. We've spent a year pretty much in lockdown in Dallas, and I can't think of anybody else I'd rather spend time on another planet with. So I think Jacinda, Matt Damon, and my wife would be a good team to help me.
I think that's really good, but I really especially love what you said about your wife. That's really
sweet. She's cool. She's amazing.
Maybe I'll get to meet her one day.
Yeah, maybe.
We could be best friends.
Sure. Oh, God.
You don't need that much Casey in your life, right? What is one thing you do each morning to set your day up for success?
I walk.
Okay.
So every morning I get up and I go for a walk around. Started when we moved out here and it was really warm, and it was the only time we could get out that wasn't too hot. So I do about a 3-mile walk around where we live, and I'm on the phone to my leadership team in the UK and here in Dallas, just kind of checking in and starting the day. So I know by 7 a.m. I kind of know what's going on. Okay. I know what the things are I need to worry about. I know what's going well. I get a really good check-in, and it really sets me up for the day.
Nice.
And I get exercise.
And you get exercise. That's the bonus part. And you get to connect with nature.
And I get to connect with nature.
That's important.
Because the Dallas 15 is real, right? Those 15 pounds you put on when you move here, that's real.
I had no idea there was such a thing.
Oh, it's got a name. So you gotta kind of fight that as well.
We do have good food here.
You do have good food, and a lot of it.
A lot, big portions. If your life's work was being summarized in a news article, what would the headline be?
I tell you what I'd like it to be. I'd like it to be he cared. Because you can't put, I find it hard to put kind of your life's work into a sentence, so you have to lift it up a little bit. And for me, it's being real and helping people. And if I look at the different roles I've had through my career, and hopefully it will continue into the future, I want to show people that we care. As a human, as an employer, I think it's really important to care. I tell my team a story, which is maybe for another podcast, but the allegory of the long spoons, which is something that means kind of a lot to me about how you communicate and how you share and how you be kind to others. And if we get to the end and someone writes about me and they said he cared, I'd take that as a win.
That's a big win. I like that. How do people find Colmore?
Colmore.com. We made the easy decision. LinkedIn. And I'll go in and correct that. Apparently, I'm still in the UK. I need to fix that. We're on all the social channels. Or they could call you guys.
Or you could call me. I can introduce you. I know people now.
Yeah, you know people, right? So, and look, we're here to stay in Dallas. We're continuing to grow. We're recruiting more people all the time. We are growing like weeds here and in the UK. Both of those businesses are really important to us. Mm-hmm. We're not gonna kind of go anywhere else in the short term. We're not looking at moving to the east or west coast. We chose Dallas for a reason. It's brilliantly located. When we can all get on planes, it's brilliant for it's great for travel, intra USA and internationally. It's really important to us. So we're going to be here. Colmore.com.
That is so awesome. And I just want to say one more time, I love working with you guys, and I'm so grateful that you allow me to partner with you and help you find that great talent, because that's what I love to do. My goal is to never make anybody hate their life by putting them in the wrong job, and so I am very careful about learning all I can about a company, all I can about what a candidate wants, and you guys are just so easy to go find talent for. So I thank you for making my job I'm going to say easier. Veronica's pretty picky.
She is. Well, that's because I say why, and she needs a good answer for that, and she's got one, right? Yeah. I mean, I back her when it comes to recruitment, and we don't just have one person recruiting, right? We have several people in the interview process, so the candidates get a bit of a feel about who we are as well. It's really important. As I said, they're choosing us. So it means that several people get a touch point on the candidate, and it's once we make a choice, we're good to go. But sometimes we can be a little picky.
Yep, you can, but that's okay, because I know when you do make that offer, it's going to stick.
I hope so. Yeah. That's the ball game, right? Yeah. We want people to come in and stay with us and grow with us. We'll invest in them. They grow with us. Everybody wins.
Well, we are going to have to wrap up this podcast, but I have one last thing to say to you.
Okay.
Colmore and you are a VIP.
Oh, thank you very much.
And that's a wrap for today. Join us next week here on the We Are VIP podcast. We'd love to know how we can help you be a VIP. To find out more, log on to wearevip.com.